Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars figure review. Once again we're taking a look at a figure from the 6-inch Black Series line today. And again, before I begin, I'd like to give a big thank you and a shout out to my Facebook friend and follower Andrew Q, who very kindly supplied these figures for a review. After looking at these things in person, I'm absolutely gutted that I can't keep them, Andrew, but again, I'd like to say a big thanks to you for sending these out. And this particular review wouldn't have been possible had it not been for your help, so big thanks goes out to you, my friend. Another thing I'd also like to mention is that Andrew is a supporter of the charity CRY, which stands for Cardiac Risk in the Young, and it's a charity that is based around the fundraising and research and awareness of cardiac risk, as I said, and sudden death syndrome, which is a plaguing illness amongst young people today. It can be brought on by undiagnosed heart conditions, things like that. And it definitely needs looking at, so if you would please check out the link in the video description to the website for CRY and just check it out. I'd greatly appreciate it, guys. So on to the review. What I want to give you a look at today is a very special item, and as I said, had it not been for Andrew's help, I probably wouldn't have reviewed it because I wasn't fortunate enough to attend either Comic Con or Celebration Europe this year. So I think you've guessed what item it is that I'm reviewing for you. It is, of course, this one. Boba Fett from the Black Series 6-inch line. Now, not only do we get Boba Fett with this pack, but we do indeed get Han Solo in Carbonite as well. So great set, and I'll tell you something, it fetches a hefty price on the secondary market, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. Before we do, I want to give you a look at the packaging that this guy comes in, and once again we do get a very nice presentation box for this figure. Hasbro really went out of their way to make this figure feel special, and that's because it was exclusive to San Diego Comic Con and Celebration Europe 2 this year. What we have with this box is a really cool presentation with the glossy finish on the front there, which obviously represents Boba Fett's helmet. And we also have a band around the box which not only features the Black Series logo and the name of the product, but also a very cool image of Boba Fett himself. The band can be removed so that you can open up the box, so I'll just do that for you now. And on the reverse side we once again have a very cool stylized image of Boba Fett on Bespin during the Empire Strikes Back, and we also have a description of the product as well. So that's the outer box. Once we remove the lid and take a look inside, we do get some very cool features, so I'll just do that for you now. It's a very snug and tight fit, so the lid can be quite tricky to take off, but once you do in fact take it off, inside the box you've got a large glossy printed Star Wars Black Series logo, which looks fantastic. And inside the box itself we do get a presentation tray. As you can see, this is where the Carbonite block would be stored. The figure would be stored in the middle just there, and here we have all of Boba Fett's accessories, and we've got some really cool diagrams there to accompany that. So they all look really cool. Once we remove this tray, underneath that we have another tray which contains the display stand for the Carbonite block, and we can then proceed to remove the second tray. And underneath we have some fantastic Boba Fett artwork on the back of the box, which really looks cool, and again is a great way of showing how much effort Hasbro put into this figure. Also on the lid, or the lip, sorry, of the box, we do have instructions on how to assemble the display stand, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But fantastic box with this one, really can't complain at Hasbro's efforts at putting this one together. It's an awesome piece. So let's take a look at the figures themselves, and we'll begin by taking a look at the Carbonite block. Now this is more of an accessory than it is a figure, but it's really well done. Obviously we've seen Carbonite blocks in the Star Wars line before, but this one blows them all out of the water. The detail, the finish on it, everything about it is just fantastic. As you can see, you've got a fantastic sculpt on Han Solo there, with a really cool silver finish as well. Not only do we have some great detail on Han Solo himself, but even the control panels on the side of the Carbonite block are really well sculpted and you know, just such a premium effort by Hasbro. Obviously we do get the display stand as well, and this has two functions. Obviously you have the stand which can be displayed like so, to give you the impression that the Carbonite block is floating down the corridor of Bespin, like in the film, or you can stand the Carbonite block up like so, so if you're making a Jabba's Palace diorama or something like that, which is really cool. Obviously there's no Han Solo inside this, unfortunately. That would have been pretty cool, but there we are. Really nice accessory, this one. Hasbro have said that the Carbonite block will be seeing a release later on in the Black Series 6-inch line, so it'll be interesting to see how that factors into the toy line. But it's very cool nonetheless. I just hope you're getting a good look at that. As you can see, the display stand just slots into the back, and there is a clip at the bottom which keeps it in place as well. So that's the Carbonite block. Now on to the main feature of this set, and that is of course Boba Fett himself. This is a really awesome figure, and in my opinion my favourite Boba Fett figure that's ever been released, and that counts for the 3 3/4 inch figures, you know, the 12-inch figures, just everything. It's an awesome piece, and again, really want to applaud Hasbro on their efforts with this one. Like with Luke in my previous review, I'm going to run through articulation first, as there is a new system with these figures. Boba Fett has a ball jointed head and a hinged neck. He has ball hinged shoulders and elbows, hinged wrists, a ball jointed torso, hinged hips and swivel thighs. Once again, 2 points of articulation in the knees, and he also has hinged ankles as well. One cool thing to point out is the fact that the gauntlets on the figure are separately sculpted. On past figures these have been moulded to the arms, but these are actually free moving accessories, if you will, and that allows for added posability with the figure, and obviously gives you a bit more freedom in terms of what poses you want to get this guy into. In terms of accessories, he comes with quite a few. Obviously he comes with the famous Boba Fett blaster rifle, which is really nicely weathered and very nicely sculpted as well. He does have a blaster pistol enclosed in the holster on his belt. There you go. And he does of course come with the jetpack, which can be removed. And once again, focusing in on that sculpted detail, you've got the flight harnesses there attached to the back of the armour, which is really cool. Nice attention to detail there. You also have the soft goods cape, which looks really cool, really tatty and weathered. And he does of course have the rangefinder on the side of the helmet, which unfortunately is made of a softer plastic, so depending on how it's been packed in the box is prone to warping, and unfortunately it doesn't move, which I would have thought Hasbro would have done. Obviously upping the scale of the figures gives you a little bit more creative freedom, and I thought that that would have moved around, but it doesn't, unfortunately, which is a shame, but not too much to put me off the figure. Once again, the paint applications are fantastic. You've got all the accurate logos printed on the figure, such as on the chest plate there, and also the Mandalorian skull on the shoulder plate. And the sculpted details are equally as cool. You've got some really intricate details going on with the wrist gauntlets, you know, the Wookiee braids as well, all the pouches on the belt, all the dints and scrapes in the armour, and the folds and creases in the suit, even the little tools in the pouches on the legs there. Really cool. Just a fantastic figure overall. As I said, this figure was exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con and Celebration Europe this year, and it does fetch a hefty price on the secondary market. I think at the conventions it retailed for around $40, maybe 40 or 50, I'm not sure, but now you'll be lucky if you can find one for less than 100, which is crazy. Don't get me wrong, I think it's worth it, but you know, it's just that increase in price is just ridiculous if you ask me. Especially considering the fact that Boba Fett will be re-released in Wave 2 of the basic line. So, you know, if you can afford to wait, then he'll be coming soon. Again, just focusing in on that painted detail. You've got all the silver scuffs and weathering there on the helmet. Even the famous dint there as well. Just a fantastic piece overall. Absolutely flawless. So I hope you've enjoyed having a look at Boba Fett and Han Solo in Carbonite from the Black Series 6-inch line. Hopefully I'll be reviewing more figures from this series soon, but in the meantime I've got a ton of vintage and Lego reviews to do for you. Got a huge backlog of stuff to get through. Once again, a big thanks goes out to Andrew Q, not only for supplying Boba Fett but also Luke from my last review. And again, I'd like to encourage you guys to check out the link in the video description for the charity cry, which is a great cause. So I hope you've enjoyed this review on Han Solo in Carbonite and Boba Fett, and I'll be back with more reviews very soon. So until then, as always guys, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.